good morning, good afternoon, and instead of speaking about the UID program and UID, what the UID is, or what the program, the details and how it's done, I want to talk about why. I want to talk about one of the examples, and I think that thank you very much for earlier talks. I think all those speakers talked about precisely why we need to bridge the gap between the bottom of the pyramid and top of the pyramid. People like us who enjoys the taking advantage of the technology for day-to-day life. So I'm specifically talking about a particular application of UID, or hence named now it's renamed as Aadhar, means foundation. So it is for microbanking or micropayments. So I'm going to talk about that specifically today and nothing more. So during lunch maybe I can talk about something else. The financial last mile. When is the last time any one of us have gone to a bank branch? Or when is the last time you have met a teller? Or when is the last time you went and stood in line to pay the bill or electricity bill or whatever? I think all of us have been very much taking advantage of the IT enabled revolution in terms of day-to-day life, in terms of withdrawing money, transferring money, paying bills, and conducting our day-to-day life in a very electronic way. It's a very different problem altogether for most of the country. Most of the country, access to the branch. We have 600,000 plus villages, and we have less than 5% of the villages actually covered by the bank. There is no branch anywhere in the village. There is no banking possibilities anywhere close to the village. The traditional branch-based banking has not broken into catering to 600, 800. We talked about 80% of the country, households not banking. The traditional branch-based banking is just not scaling up, and that's completely unviable. And the availability of cash, so the need for these people to go far away to get the cash and actually turn the cash in the village for buying provisions and everything else, adds to further complexity. Traditionally, the accounts in the several programs which have been done today to provide through a specific business correspondence model to provide bank accounts to the poor. But they are siloed and they are fixed to a village. So if you have a bank account in a village, it doesn't get transported. So unlike the way we are doing, anywhere in the country, anywhere, you can't branchless, regionless, literally banking anywhere. It's like a landline. We used to have landline. When we had mobile, we were accessible anywhere, anytime in the country. That's exactly what needs to be done for banking. On the contrary, look at the telecom scenario. I think everybody talked about it. We have probably half the country plus more than 500 million people with connections, 10 million new connections a day, and probably around 1 million SIMs issued a day. There's a lot of churn. So 1 million SIM cards issued a day. 90% of the people are on prepaid. And average prepaid top-up is 10 rupees. So more average money they recharge on a prepaid account is 10 rupees. So how, with 1.3 plus million, I think it's growing every day, every Kirana shop or the smallest shop in the village, you can see Airtels and Vodafones hanging, and they have created that extensive distribution network which allows every rural Indian to just literally walk out of the house and get it recharged. The question is, why can't this be done for the banking? Can this be done for the banking, for enabling microbanking? I'm going to talk about NREGA. Okay, NREGA is the National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. It's one of the largest direct benefit schemes of the last few years of government. 30,000 crore, continue to expand, and I'm going to talk about a person named Nathuram. That's his story in Madhya Pradesh. Every Thursday, he gets a weekly wages, and every Thursday is when his village is covered by the bank branch where he has to go and get his village money. He has to walk 6 kilometers to the bus stop, then 14 kilometers bus journey to get to the district headquarters, that's where the branch is. 2 hour wait in the line, and this person at the bank teller or the bank clerk is quite frustrated because every day it's a different village and every day there's a huge crowd, and these are not necessarily the people they want to deal with every day. 2:30 deadline. So if you miss that, it's another Thursday. So the next week. Back all the way, come back, pay off whatever he needs to pay off as much as he can, and buy stuff in the nearest kirana shop, and pretty much nothing left at the end of the day. And this is an ordeal of a lot of NREGA person, and government has moved towards bank-based payment instead of direct going through the contractor. That actually means that government wants to pay the money into the bank. Makes it the last mile still not resolved. So that actually makes it extremely painful for them to get their own money out of their own account. This is the same case for many, many programs. Pension programs, migrant labor programs, maternity. There's a great program called Janani Suraksha Yojana, JSY, which addresses during the pregnancy, post-pregnancy, a lot of government subsidies going down to encourage women going to a government hospital and actually delivering instead of home or any other facilities. ASHA workers who are getting paid through the check, and the check clearance takes days, and teachers who get paid. We have about 60,000 crores ever growing direct benefits delivery. These are not indirect like schooling and other healthcare programs. They're direct, paid to the people or supposed to be. 60,000 on just an average, very conservative estimate of the opportunity cost in terms of doing this again and again, every Thursday or every Friday, just 10%. It's like 6,000 crore every year. This is very conservative numbers. And you can look at fertilizer subsidy and many other subsidies we actually give from the government. I'm going to switch gears and talk a little bit about Aadhaar. Now, how does Aadhaar help, or how does UID program help? UID itself is you enroll once into the program, and it gives you a unique identity number based on biometric identification mark. So it takes multiple biometrics, creates a unique record for every resident in this country. So this is one of the largest programs, never been done. It has to cover 1.2 billion people, probably more or less. And this is a one-time effort, and it actually captures very minimal data. The program is all about just identity. So it has just name, gender, date of birth, and address, and no profiling, no transaction, nothing. It's just identity. That's all it requires to do. Interestingly, on the other hand, unlike many identity programs around the world, UID programs or Aadhaar program aims to provide an online authentication. That goes back again that we are at the inflection point, and we have half the country, very soon most of the country covered through telephone network, 2G network, now 3G network coming in, everyone carrying their own mobile. This is appropriate for providing online authentication anytime, anywhere. All it does is that anyone can, a bank, for example, can verify. If you go back and ask, I am who I am, I say my name, I say my UID, and I put my biometrics, it tells you yes or no. It doesn't give you any data back, it's just yes or no answer, always. It's an open identity platform. It can be used in many applications. All it does is identity checking or confirmation in one sense. And using any protocol, any device, very remotely accessible. Now, today, KYC, which is Know Your Customer, has become an important aspect of banking, insurance, telco, regulatory needs. By regulation, it requires them to verify the customer. And the cost of doing KYC, repeated cost of doing KYC, just in those industries, because they are very highly regulated, is extremely high. Sometimes you hear numbers from 30, 40 rupees to 100 rupees per KYC, because it's verification nature as well as document scanning, document preservation for so many years and so on. It's an accumulated cost. So that is repeated. And interestingly, this is only regulated in this industry, But identity verification is part of every system. You go into school, you go into hospital, you go into railway, travel, ticketing. They constantly you have to, pop up your card, something you have to show. You have to keep, claiming who you are. That is part of everything we do. How does Aadhaar help here? Aadhaar allows electronic online verification, significantly reducing cost. And, with the business models, very other aspects around it, but dramatic reduction of cost and cost saving across the system. So you do once with Aadhaar, you update your address, you update the system, and many systems, when you go, they can electronically verify and assert your claim. What it enhances the current KYC with further online biometric as well as PIN and multi-factor authentication of sort. Completely possible, we have a possibility of bypassing paper-based KYC. Take away whole work, paper-based. Now, how does this go back to Ram's story in Madhya Pradesh? Let's go back and see how an electronic verification enabled with a bank account can dramatically change Ram's life. So, NREGA has something called a master roll, which is an attendance sheet. So that's where you get done. It goes to the Gram Panchayat, it goes to the block and NREGA when the work is done. So this is a post work. This is your salary. This is the way we get salary. It's deposited into your account. It goes to the bank and the bank can verify at this time. So the master roll says, pay this person Ram with UID number so and so much money, 460, whatever that weekly wage is, right? It is verifying that through the central switch, which is the National Payment Corporation of India, it already exists, through the UID system authenticating and saying, yeah, that's Ram, that is address, everything is okay, and it converts into a bank account and transfers the money into from NREGA account to Ram's account, deposit, and Ram possibly gets an SMS saying, yep, your money has come. That's the easy part. The difficult part is the withdrawal. That's where the difficult part was. Let's look at that. This person now gets an SMS, wants to withdraw the money. No Thursday, no Wednesday, no Saturdays, anytime, any day, right? Walks into the nearest shop, that's where he buys his wheat, oil, whatever he needs to buy, the smallest shop, and asks a lady, okay, I need to buy something, and he buys for 80 rupees or 100 rupees. Now, his account has to be debited with 80 and credited to that lady's account. That's really what's going to happen. So at this time, there is a potential of a micro ATM, which we have defined. It's actually published. It's actually being experimented. It's live. Come to Bangalore, we can show you things working. And really enabling this Ram to come in and say, I am Ram and this is my UID, puts his fingerprint and ability to conduct transaction right next to his account. So money transfer request goes to the bank, goes to the National Payment Corporation's central switch, that's where RTGS and NEFT transactions go through. It punches out the UID system and verifies the biometrics of both persons against their UID number to confirm their claim, and once it's confirmed, goes to Ram's bank account. It could be completely different now. The merchant's bank account need not be same as bank account, it's interbank. It debits, credits the person, and Ram gets an SMS saying that your money has been, 80 rupees has been withdrawn from your account, and this prints out a receipt and gives the stuff. That's it, that's all it does. And so really what's changing is now, unlike what's happening today with a business correspondent model where it's siloed, it works only like a landline in your village, to a national level platform of interbank transactions happening. Very small amount. Any business correspondence, any shop, any micro ATM, any bank, and any tiny amount, all it moves is electrons. Interestingly, a lot of these pieces of the puzzle exist today. It's already been worked out. So financial inclusion has been a holy grail we have been after, and a lot of pieces actually exist. So no frill account, RBI has very clear, RBI is a regulatory body, has no frill account which enables tiny accounts to be held in the bank with limitations on transactions. Business correspondence are a model where a remote and a third-party entity or a person can become the teller of the bank or act as a branch a tiny branch of the bank. So you are literally moving away from branch-based, employee-based banking to completely onto you make the distribution network quite like a telecom network. Make a smallest kirana shop work on as a business correspondent. Mobile banking, we all do. NPCI already established, working, RTGS is fully running, NEFT on its way. Anytime, anywhere technology, we all take full advantage of it. And cell phone, huge penetration of cell phone. Aadhaar or UID is just a glue, finally connecting the pieces of the puzzle. So we looked at the agent-based, agent-assisted model. Same thing could happen on a direct self-service. Bhim Singh in Delhi, real person who is coming to Delhi for work, construction work, who is in Delhi, and there's a lot of construction with Commonwealth and everything else going on, and that person has to transfer, and only once a year he goes to Bihar or his native place, has to transfer money to his wife back in Bihar, and can be conducted right on the cell phone. Cell phone UID enabled bank account and a check balance anytime, self-service, and use PIN or mobile with the biometric. It's not difficult at all, and that's already being proof of concept been developed. And you can transfer that money from your account the way we do, just with a click of a browser button, we transfer. They are able to. So bringing that micro-banking to the bottom of the pyramid. At the end of the day, what it really, Aadhaar is a platform, it's an open identity platform. Enabling inclusion, inclusive growth, bringing the bottom of the pyramid into the financial world. Mobility of people. 1/3, probably more than 1/3 of the country is moving around because of the economic boom. They are actually moving from one place to other place. But their bank accounts don't go, their ration cards don't go, nothing moves today. So making it mobile is an extremely important identity. Being mobile is very important aspect of that. Transparency, because everything is electronic trail, electronic moving, transparency and accountability, elimination of fake accounts, it's extremely huge. We talked about 50% of PDS not even reaching anywhere, right? So accountability and elimination of fake accounts is very, very important and can be done because of biometric attached identity. And at the end of the day, government has to know who exactly the beneficiaries are. We don't know really exactly who the people are. So you can imagine very soon, hopefully, empowering the additional 600, 700 million people with bank accounts and ability to conduct banking transactions day in and day out, quite like the way they do top up and pre-charge and music downloads or whatever they, caller tunes and everything else. It is quite imaginable they are able to do this on their cell phone, nearest kirana shop, and that can bring a lot of financial independence and power to the people. And it's not just financial inclusion. Many next generation e-governance applications can be wired, healthcare, schooling, midday meal programs, many programs. We can spend as a government, a lot of money on this. Can be wired, Aadhaar-based identity can be integral part of that. And IT is a very, very key piece of that. IT re-engineering is a key part of that. And that's an opportunity right in front of us. Thank you.